All right, welcome back to Draft Genius, and in this video we're going to take a look at Liberty quarterback Malik Willis, and this will be the second look at Malik Willis on this channel. In this game we're going to take a look at right here. This is from this past season against Southern Mississippi, so let's not waste any time and let's get right into the film. All right, here we go. First play right here. This is a really nice throw by Malik Willis, if you ask me. Liberty, they're coming out there just running a scissors concept to the top of the screen with number 1 and number 2. You get number 1 on the post, number 2 on the corner route. And I think those two receivers, they do a really good job of running these routes right here. They're coming out against Southern Miss, and I believe Southern Miss is playing some type of quarters coverage right here, which essentially ends up being man-to-man coverage from their corner and their safety at the top of the screen. So really good job by those two receivers running those routes, especially the guy in the slot. You know, the angle he takes on his route, it gets in the way of the corner that's trying to guard number 1 on the post, and that's all that number 1 receiver needs. You know, he's able to create a couple more yards of separation just based on the route structure and the route concept itself. So really nice job by those two receivers. Really good job by Malik Willis, man. This is a really good throw. And when we're talking about this guy, man, and we're talking about his arm strength and arm talent, you know, seeing throws like this really get me excited to watch him, and I'm sure it's going to get a lot of coaches and a lot of teams excited. Looking at it from the tight view, not a ton of pressure in his face, which is good right here. Not under duress. He just stands in there and he's able to get this ball downfield. It's about 45 yards, give or take, on a rope with accuracy, hitting this guy right in the stride. Doesn't have to slow down, anything like that. So really good job on that first play by Malik Willis. So I really like this play right here, just showing off that athleticism that he has. And I know pretty much if you've watched this guy on film, you know he's a tremendous athlete. Now that's not all he can do. He can throw the ball as well, but this right here is definitely a big part of his game, what he can do with his legs and with his feet. So you just get simple zone read right here. And zone read, you get a pull. He's out in the open field. Now, we got one-on-one in the open field with a pretty athletic safety, you would think. A starting safety, Division I safety. He's a pretty good athlete, and she'll be able to make tackles in space, especially against a quarterback. But that's not what happens right here, obviously. Malik Willis is able to put a move on that guy. He's able to make that guy miss in open field. Now, if you got a quarterback that can make safeties miss in the open field, then that's the guy that you probably want at quarterback. You know he's a pretty good athlete. So makes the guy miss in the open field, makes one guy miss, and then what I also like about this play is that he continues to make guys miss down the field. So you got a linebacker with a pretty good angle. He misses. Got another guy down the field. He misses. Gets some reinforcements. Another guy, he makes a couple guys miss twice. So, you know, just having that natural athleticism, that nose for the end zone that he has on this play. Like I said, this isn't a free shot to the end zone. He had to make one guy miss in open field, and then he made 2 guys miss pretty much twice. So really good job on this play right here, man. Excellent run. This is a nice play right here. First of all, the concept I like, getting those receivers from Liberty in a bunch. And once you get into those bunch formations and stuff like that, you start to throw off the defense, especially the DBs, because they have to figure out how to cover that stuff. You know, once you get into those bunch sets, you get a lot of crossers and things like that, a lot of spacing concepts and stuff like that, where receivers are crossing and the DBs have to sift through that and figure out who they're going to cover. And I think that's what happens right here on this play. I think Southern Miss gets confused right here. Basically, Liberty's just working a high-low concept over the middle of the field, and I think Southern Miss is playing man coverage, but they get somebody confused, and you get a coverage bust right here. Malik Willis throws an excellent ball right here to the back of the end zone, just taking advantage of what's going on out there, seeing it, recognizing it, and not hesitating. And that's the most important thing, seeing it right away, because once you get down there in the red zone, everything condenses and windows become smaller. Throws aren't as easy to make down there because you just don't have as much space to work with. So good job here by Malik Willis, looking at it from the tight view. Good job by him right here, you know, recognizing what's going on and delivering a shot with accuracy right to the back of the end zone where only his guy could get it. Excellent throw, excellent play call right there by Liberty. Now this is another nice throw right here by Malik Willis, in my opinion. Just working double curl up here to the top of the screen, working a curl flat concept. You get a curl route by number 1 and number 2, and those guys are just sitting it down in the void, trying to find holes within that zone defense that Southern Miss is playing. But really good job of Malik Willis just standing in there and just delivering a strike right here on that curl route to the number 2 receiver. He throws his ball with really good anticipation, really good velocity. It's accurate right in that receiver's chest. And he's able to catch that ball and get upfield and pick up a decent amount of yardage after the catch. So just really nice job. Not a ton of pressure right there. Liberty's doing a pretty good job of handling Southern Miss up front. So, and I believe they only bring 3 right here, so not a ton of pressure on this play for Malik Willis, but he's able to just stand in there and zip that ball right past those underneath defenders and squeezed in there to his guy on that curl route. Really nice throw right there with velocity, accuracy, and anticipation. Right here we go. We get a touchdown throw right here from Malik Willis. Get to the bottom of the screen. They're just working the slot fade right there, and that receiver in the slot, he does a really good job of winning his one-on-one. Southern Miss, they're playing man across the board, so somebody's got to go out there and win. When defenses come out in man coverage as a receiver, that should be telling you that you're probably about to score a touchdown because you should be finding a way to get open. That's what number 4 does right here. Gets open against his guy right there in the slot, and Malik Willis just throws his ball up, gives it to his guy. Now, I do think he underthrew this a bit. You can see his receiver start to slow down a little bit, even though he does have a good 2 or 3 steps on that defender. He does have to slow down a little bit because the ball does hang in the air just a touch, and it also allows that defender to kind of get back into play, but the ball gets there before he can make a play on it. But like I said, would like to see him get that ball out there a little bit more, but that receiver was wide open and he got it to him right there on that play for the touchdown. Looking at it from tight, once again, Southern Miss, they're bringing some pressure right here, bringing a couple guys from the second level, but Liberty does a good job up front of handling that, so Malik Willis doesn't have a ton of pressure in his face, and he's able to get this ball out to his receiver for 6 points. All right, last play right here, and once again, we get an opportunity to look at Malik Willis and see what type of athlete, what type of playmaker, what type of dynamic weapon he can be. Once again, Liberty's running a zone read right here, but this time they get it with a split flow action from that off tight end at the top of the screen, gets split flow action, but instead of kicking out that defensive end, he bypasses that defensive end and leads up to the force player coming down in the alley. And Malik Willis, he just does what Malik Willis does. He does a good job of reading that defensive end, gets a pull read right here, he pulls the ball. Like I said before, that off tight end, he comes across on the swipe block, so he's essentially working as a lead blocker, and he's able to block that safety coming down the alley, which gives Malik Willis space and opportunity. And when you give a guy like that space and opportunity in the open field, he's going to be a lot to handle. Now, I know he's going against Southern Miss, and I know that free safety takes a poor angle on this play, but still, look at what he's able to do out there. Opposing defenses do not want to see quarterbacks out there doing stuff like that. It makes everything that much more difficult for them. And Malik Willis is that guy. He can do these things. And I think this is the type of stuff that translates to the next level. So even though he is playing Southern Miss, even though this isn't Power 5 football, I think that athleticism and what he's able to bring to you out there at the quarterback position, I think it translates. And this is exactly why everybody's going to be talking about Malik Willis this upcoming season. So there we go. That's another look at Malik Willis out of Liberty. Another game. He had a tremendous game in that game. Finished with 6 touchdowns, 24 of 31, 345 yards. So he put up some big numbers in that game. But once again, watching that game, watching the other games that I've watched, you see the challenge there with this kid. He does have some things to clean up, obviously, and I'm hoping he's working towards cleaning up the little mechanical issues and footwork issues in this game. But, you know, he's got time. He's got the whole offseason to get that stuff figured out before the season, and we'll be watching closely how he progresses throughout the season and throughout this entire process. But there we go. Malik Willis, Liberty versus Southern Mississippi, went out there and did his thing, has a ton of talent, still has some room to grow, but we're going to keep watching this kid and keep following his progress.